About our story, just very briefly. Many of you have heard it, some of you may have not. I graduated high school in 2010. Very kind of you. Thanks for the laughter. The 1900s, 1992, from Sacramento. I don't know if there's any California people here. Go back. Don't move here. No, I'm just kidding. It's awful here. I know there's a lot of, I have license plate road rage right now because there's so many people here, but we're glad you're here, so we love you. I took the military entrance program test, the ASVAB test, to get out of math class because I hated math class and I ended up doing really well on it. B, I don't know. I did really well on it, so I had all of these people saying, hey, like, you should really consider joining the military, and it was during Desert Storm. It was a very patriotic time in our country, and I thought, what better way to get out of my house and, serve my country. So I did. I went to the military and ended up as a military police officer, a security guard, actually. Sounds a lot cooler than it actually was. I provided armed security for nuclear weapons in Malmstrom Air Force Base, Montana. And honestly, when you're like kind of even a little bit of a decent looking female in the military, you don't really have to do a lot of things that you maybe don't want to do. You just have to know how to delegate. So I was at some point in my uniform and I was looking for someone, honestly, just to shine my boots. And I bumped into him a couple of times in the barracks and was like, oh, he's all dressed up. That's cute. He's in his little airman blues because he had airman in the base, airman in the quarter, airman below the zone. He has his own parking spot. I'm like, this is my guy. Ultimate overachievers, though, right? So I told my roommate at the time, I said, go down there and tell him to come here and talk to me. And so she left and came back, and he said, if you want to talk to him, you have to go there. Well, who does he think he is? It's like 400 to 1. Like, okay. So I go down there, and ironically, he's shining his boots. And I said, will you do just the boots? Do my boots? And he said, no, but I'll show you how. So he hasn't changed very much. Right? And he's really, honestly, the best at what he does. He takes very complex things and brings them very simple to where everyone can understand them. And I sadly never shined my own boots because 2 weeks later we were married and he was doing my whole uniform. That's the way we do. So, like I said before, I didn't build this business at all. I don't take any credit for that. I watched what happened, and like I said before, they honestly put their head down and they went to work and they didn't look up until it was done. And what I do know for sure is that the rewards that you all are looking for are on the other side of the work you really are putting off. So he's going to make it really fun for you to listen to, and you're going to learn something, and you guys are all going to be up here next time. Okay, thank you.
All right, you guys. She went to our meetings last night. She was a little inspired. She's like, "Do you think there's any room for me to talk?" And we go, "I'm like, I'll make some room for you." Do you guys like listening to talk? She kind of has her little smart little comments, right? She's got something going on. So she told you part of the story. We met, and 2 weeks after we met, we got married. But what she didn't tell you is that we've been married 30 years.
Nice.
So we celebrated our 30 years just a couple weeks ago. Well, I guess a month ago now. It was September 21st. I even remember that date. That's a good thing to remember. It's a good thing to remember if you care. Gotta know those dates, right? A lot of you guys have heard a little bit of our story. We have our 2 kids that we just love to death. Our daughter gave us our grandson. I'm going to show you a couple of videos at the very end of this. I hope will make sense. But they gave us our grandson. We've told many people that you made your replacement. You're out and he's in. That's the way it is, He rules the world. We built a brand new house. Some of you have had a chance to go up there and see that. He's got his own section in that house. All his toys are everywhere, and he has no rules at Grandpa and Grandma's house. Okay, none. I don't know. How many of you guys have grandkids? You guys love them to death? Are they the best thing in the world? All right. Now I'm called Typewalk, because Tyler and Grandpa, and she's called Fancy, and so he calls her Cece. Luckily, I thought he was going to call her Fanny. I thought he'd have a hard time saying the C part, but he'd be calling her Fanny at the grocery store, but he calls her Cece. And we even put the name on her little Bronco. She has one of those brand new Broncos, and we put Fancy in the little black stripe that goes down the side of her Bronco, so everyone knows. I think she did it so no one else would drive her car. Looks a little silly when you go through there and be like, who's Fancy? And you're driving it. You know? But anyways, I've had an opportunity, you guys. I know Steve, I really appreciate Steve coming down here. He had to leave. But I've had an opportunity over the last 3 years to really get to know him. Did you guys appreciate what Steve had to say?
Of course. Real dude.
I know that as the CFO in this company, he got to see a lot of the numbers that we were doing as a company. I think it really pushed him to bring those outside advisors in. Do you guys like what he did with those outside advisors? Do you appreciate the fact that he said, let's bring some people in that don't have an agenda, that haven't been making suggestions, that can look at this thing from a 30,000-foot view and then make some suggestions that we don't have to worry about whether it's just for one group or the other. It's actually for the whole company. Do you guys appreciate that? I know that I do. When he approached me about doing this project, I was really concerned about the compensation piece of it. Because how many of you guys have been in network marketing for quite a while now? Is changing comp plans dangerous?
Absolutely.
It can be, huh? I mean, if you do it wrong, it can literally be the end, right? And so, when he told me that he was going to bring a group in, and some of you guys need to know this, because when you start telling this story, which is why you're here, is to learn how to tell it better, you need to know how significant the group was that he hired to bring in. So, the Dan Jensen group has built over 1,000 compensation plans, you guys, 1,000 of them. 30 of the top 100 companies that you can go look up use a plan that they created. Is that pretty impressive? Does that sound like an outside advisor that maybe you'd want to listen to? Kind of does, huh? It also sounds like to me that they were involved in enough other compensation plans and enough other companies that they had a little bit of insight what others were trying to do, what they were doing to try to overcome some of the hurdles that the industry has, not just a company. And so I got kind of excited about that. I asked him when he asked me if I would spend some time, I said, how long are you thinking? He goes, we're going to spend a year, which I think is another significant thing. He said, he didn't say we're going to spend 30 days. He didn't say we're just going to go try a couple things. He said, we're going to spend a year, and we are going to deep dive, and we're going to analyze this compensation plan to make sure that we are going to reward the right behaviors. Now, do you guys appreciate the amount of time that was put into that kind of commitment that was put into that? I hope you do, okay? Because when he told me that, I thought, okay, we're going to do this thing right. We're not going to make the same mistake that a lot of other companies have done by swinging the pendulum all the way over to maybe just like an affiliate marketing program or a social marketing program and abandon the traditional methods that a lot of us love, right? If we have an entire year to go out and study this compensation plan, we're going to find the problems and we're going to find answers or solutions to those problems.
Absolutely.
Wouldn't you guys agree?
Yep.
So I said, I'll give my time. So I went to work. We put in, it was hours. I'll bet I put in 1,000 hours, and that's not the 740,000 Skip was just talking about. When I say 1,000, it was probably more than that, okay? The other request that I had from him, though, is I said, I want you to bring another consultant into this conversation that understands the earliest behaviors, the gathering phase. I want you to bring someone in that understands how do you market through social marketing, or how do you do those beginning behaviors from a customer's point of view. You guys think that's important?
Yeah. Absolutely.
How many of you guys think that having a balanced message would help you grow your business?
Yes.
Or do you think you should just be all customers or all consultants? Which one? You think balance is going to give you a better result? So he said, who do you want that to be? And I asked him, I said, well, if you can get Rachel to be here. How many of you guys know Rachel Picard? You guys follow any of the guides, the launch guides and things that she does? Okay? And I said, well, I'd like Rachel to come in here and be a part of this thing if she will. And she originally said no. She said she didn't want to be a part of this. She did not want to have that responsibility. And I said, Rachel, we're going to be making some suggestions, and you're going to have to live with my suggestions for the way you like to build. You still feel good about not being part of that? And she went, oh, maybe I need to be in that room. And I said, I'd love to have you here because I don't know what you do. And I need you to teach me what you do, and I'll teach you what I do. And then that collaborative effort, that working together, we can come up with the best answers. And I think we landed in a really, really incredible place, okay? Now the transition's over. Are some of you guys pretty excited about this new plan? Okay, you're pretty excited about it? I went into this thing, and I originally came up with the 3-in-1 idea. How many of you guys are talking about 3-in-1? The 3 customers to 1 consultant every single month. You guys using that? Okay, are you finding it to be super effective? Some are, some aren't. No, for real, right? I taught it, and I know that plan as well as anybody, and I was teaching it for the last 7 months. From the time we did our transition, all the way through the entire first month of full rollout on the plan, I was teaching the 3-in-1. And I thought it was the answer. I thought this cannot be too difficult for people to teach. It just can't be. This plan is easy enough. You just get 3 customers and 1 consultant every month. You just do that for a year. You've got your 36 customers. You got 12 consultants. It's a really nice balanced business. That makes sense to everybody, right?
Oh yeah.
The problem was I forgot that there's different phases, because as I've gotten bigger and bigger in the business, I forgot what it was like to be sitting in the room for the very first time as a brand new person hearing this for the very first time. So when you deliver that information to someone who has no idea what network marketing is, does it sound like a lot to them? Yes. It does, doesn't it? They start to ask questions like, I wonder if I can do that. And then they go to work the next day, or they go home and their spouse beats them up, or their co-workers beat them up, or they give them all the objections as to why they can't do this. And what do?
Quit.
Do any of you guys have anybody that's quit the first week they signed up? First hour? How many of you guys have signed somebody up and they called you up the next day and said, I need to get my money back? Okay, that happens too, doesn't it? So I decided after 7 months of really pushing and teaching that at all the opportunity meetings, because like Skip said, I've done roughly 1,000 presentations over the last 2 years. I decided I needed to take a step back and humble myself enough to really ask some different questions. And try to understand, are there learning are there phases? Are there rungs of a ladder that someone has to climb? Are there different sections or components to someone's learning process? What do you guys think? Do you think there are? Yes. I mean, do you learn in the first year at college what you learn in the 4th year? No. Why? Okay? Because we have to get you there. We have to prepare you for that. And so I humbled myself down to say, is there something I'm doing wrong with the brand new person who's hearing this for the very first time? Can I find a solution for that without abandoning the next conversation, which is 3-in-1, which we all know is a very powerful way to build. I mean, every one of you would love to build 3-in-1, right? Yes. And if you want big results, you're going to follow the 3-in-1 plan so that in 1 year you have 36 customers and 12 consultants, right? You're all going to do that, right? Yeah. Without abandoning that, and then going to another layer of teaching, which is the U&2, which is the whole leadership development piece, I said, am I just missing the first rung of the ladder? What do you guys think? Yeah. We're missing the first rung, aren't we? And I said, there's got to be a better way. I got to simplify this. My number one goal for the brand new person is to get them to think in their mind, I can do that. Right?
I can do it.
Because if I can get them to think I can do that, they will take the first step, which is to find a customer or a consultant. And what does that give them? It gives them a win. It gives them confidence. It gives them belief. Okay? The industry statistics are this. Out of every 10 consultants that you guys bring in, 8 or 9 of them will not succeed in this industry. Does that hold true for your groups? Pretty close, doesn't it? So you're trying to build a huge organization. You're trying to build those numbers that Marcel talked about with 1 or 2 out of every 10 consultants you bring in. Why are the other 8 or 9 not doing it? Because you didn't answer that question for them. You didn't make them feel like they can do this. They didn't even take the first step. Because how many people sign up a customer or a consultant and then call you up and say, hey, I need my money back? How many people sign up a customer or a consultant and then say, I don't want to do this? How many people do that? Hardly anybody, right? So the goal has to be to get those 8 or 9 people to take the first step so they can get their first win. You guys want to see what I came up with? Yes. Okay? So I call it you and a friend. What I try to do with people, and this is just part of, I've heard a whole bunch of presentations up here about the business and am I making the right decisions? I 100% agree with all of that. What I've gone back to now is I've gone back to asking questions like this. How many of you guys had a financial advisor that told you getting out of high school you should invest $200 a month, starting when you get your first job, and do it for 46 years so that you can be a millionaire at 66 years old? Did anybody get told that, or was I the only one? No. Some of you did, some of you didn't, okay? I've been asking this question to tens of thousands of people around the world. I've had 5 hands raised and say, I actually did it. 4 of them became millionaires and 1 of them didn't. And I asked the one who did, I said, why didn't it work? He said, well, we just didn't make the right investments. I just never became a millionaire. The 4 that made it, I said, well, why are you here? You did what society told you to do. Why are you here? Did it work? They go, oh yeah, we became a millionaire. Why are you here? They all said, well, because the grocery store costs more now. Right? Housing costs more now. Interest rates are 8% again. Right? Gas is costing me this. Housing's costing me that. The average income did not keep up with the average price increase of a house. They all said, I need something more. It wasn't enough. So even though they followed the plan, it still wasn't enough. And so they're looking for something else. And then I ask people this, well, if you didn't start when you were 20, did you start when you were 30? If you didn't start when you were 30, did you start when you were 40 or 50 or 60 or 70 years old? I mean, when did you start? And if they didn't start when they're 20, they just never really started. And the reason is because of this. $200 a month when you're 20 turns into $1 million. But if you wait till you're 30, it's $500 or $600, maybe even $1,000 a month. And if you wait till you're 40, it might be $5,000 or $6,000 a month. And if you wait till you're 50 or 60, it's $10,000 a month. And people go, I just can't do that. So they just never even try. So I look at them and I say, what if? What if I could show you a way that in 5 years or 6 years, you could make up for all the financial mistakes that you've made for the last 40? Would you be interested in that? Yes. Who in here wants to know how to do that? Okay? So what if I said to you, based on what you've learned up here today, what if I said to you, if you'll find 1 customer a week, for a year, you can become something called a diamond in our company. How many of you guys were at convention? Did you see how many diamonds walked across stage? How many? Who knows? 270 people in 6 months became diamond. So we launched this new plan, and 270 people in 6 months became a diamond. That's 2.5 times all of you. 270 people became a diamond in the very first 6 months because they went out and started finding their customers. What happens if you go find a customer a week for an entire year? How many customers will you have? 52. Are they all going to stick? What if half of them quit and you only have 30 left and they all buy a healthy glow stack? How much volume are you doing? How much? Healthy glow stacks are 140, right? I mean, this is a teaching thing. This can be an interactive conversation when I'm up here, okay? Okay? 140, right? It's 140. 140 times 30 is how much? It's over 4,000, right? It's over 4,000. So these people went out and did that in 6 months, not a year, and what they got paid is 30% of all of that volume. So how much money were they making? They're making $1,200 a month, every month, or roughly $15,000 a year by simply finding a customer, talking to people about the most validated products in the entire industry that you can't get anywhere else, that has research that's published in medical journals, that is having a massive impact on making people's bodies work the way they did when they were young. Easiest sell on the planet. Most validated sell on the planet, right? Pretty easy deal. They were hesitant to do network marketing. They were the 8 or 9 of the 10. Scared to talk to someone, didn't want to pick the phone up, but could lean on the experts. They went out and found their customer a week, and they're making $15,000 a year if almost half of their customers even quit. Is that crazy? It is, right? Now I teach these guys, look, what if you did that because you were, again, hesitant to the whole network marketing thing, but you did it for 5 or 6 years? Are you going to have 300 or 400 customers? You are, aren't you? Because you're going to get better and better at delivering this message. You're going to get better and better at showing people what this is. What is 30% of $40,000 in volume? It's $12,000 a month. Let's go back to our example for making up your retirement, okay? If you put $200 a month in, how many of you guys did that, by the way? Anybody? Anybody put the $200 a month away? Nobody, not one person in here followed the rules. Every one of you broke the rules. Right? Nobody followed the rules. Crazy, okay? It's the same as every room I'm in, except for the 5 times, 3 of which have happened in the last 90 days. So you can imagine the other 18 years of me asking, I had 2 people, okay? I'm pretty used to this, okay? If you did that, you were a millionaire, and you played by the 4% rule, how much money did you make by following the rules for 46 years? 4% of $1 million is $40,000, $3,500 a month. I just showed you how to make $12,000 a month in 5 years, not 46 years. I don't know. Did we come up with a solution for the 8 or 9 that are scared to do what all of you are not scared to do? You think some of those 8 or 9 might stick around if they'll just learn this? You guys realize you don't even have to do the 5 or 6 years, because you can cut that in half and it's still 6,000. You can cut it in half again and it's still 3,000. You had to do the other plan for 46 years to get 3,000. I can cut this in half twice. So from 6 to 3 to 1.5 years. So in 1.5 to 2 years, you can replace what takes 46 years? According to what society tells it? You tell, which one do you want to do? Do you want to give 46 years of your life, or do you want to give 2? Should you learn these products? Should you learn these? I'm serious, right? It's crazy. I mean, this is just simple math. Okay? Some of you guys are sitting in here, you've been coming to these events, you haven't made rank, and you're wondering why. What if you taught 10 people on your team to go out and just do the first 4,000? Let's do this fun little, you guys probably didn't know you had to get your calculators out. Maybe you did, I don't know, I've done enough of these. You guys know, you knew you were going to do some math, right, when I get up here, okay? You have 10 consultants that are doing a $200 subscription. How much volume is your group doing? 2,000. You worked your guts out, you worked hard, you made sacrifices. You've got 10 consultants in, 8 or 9 of them are never going to do anything, 1 or 2 might, but they're all doing $200 subscriptions, and you do a $2,000 a month business, right? So the other 8 or 9 that are not going to build with you, you show them this, and in the next year, those 8 or 9 go out and get $4,000 each. They just added $35,000 to $40,000 to your $2,000 business. Do I need to say that again? Yeah. You signed up 10 consultants because you know how powerful and important getting consultants. I would never tell you not to. I will never, I'm the consultant guy, 100%. I'm going to find consultants. I'm going to tell you to find consultants too. They are the voice of this product. They are the builders on your team. But what I'm saying to you is there's 8 or 9 out of every 10 consultants that don't believe they can do that. And this pathway allows you to build your business big, fast. Okay? Is this making sense to you guys? A little teeny bit? So you get 10 consultants. They do a $200 subscription. 10 times 200 is 2,000. The 8 or 9 that can't go find consultants get a customer a week instead. I'm not telling you not to go get them. See, don't tell me, oh, you're doing a customer plan. I'm talking about consultants making money. I'm activating and building consultants out of the 8 or 9 that we all throw away. And those 8 or 9 people do that. They're going to add $35,000 to $40,000 a month to your $2,000 a month business. Which one do you want? Did they have to find another consultant for you to go from 2,000 to 40,000? They didn't, did they? Are you going to be a big rank?
Yep.
Is your check going through the roof?
Yep.
You know, if all 10 of those are on your first level, you're getting 10% of that. You're getting 10% of that 40,000. You're making $4,000 yourself. $50,000 a year because you gave a clear pathway to the 8 or 9 that would quit otherwise. You think maybe you should re-educate your teams? See, when I realized that I was going to 20 times the volume of your business by simply creating a pathway for the people that we throw away, I thought I better go give them a chance. I worked hard to get them here. Shouldn't I at least give them a chance to have some success? So that leads me to my next piece of this. Do you think it's possible for someone to start making that $1,200 a month and not tell a friend? Now, let's be honest. I mean, you're struggling with MLM. You're afraid to ask people to be consultants, so we teach you how to do it this way instead. You start making $500, $600, $1,000 a month. Are you going to keep that a secret? Or Or do you think those 8 or 9 now are going to go tell a friend and start bringing consultants in of their own? That sound like a customer plan or a consultant plan to you? That's a consultant building plan, isn't it? Why would you waste 80% of your effort by fighting the statistics? That doesn't make any sense to me, does it? Okay? So let's say it happens. They go find a friend. Let's say every one of you decided that next building depth, when is it? February 22nd, is that right? 23rd. Next building depth, every one of you are going to bring a friend to it, and we double the size of this room. What's the energy going to be like in this room? What if you and a friend decide you're going to follow the little path and you're going to set the example for your team and you're going to get a customer every week and a consultant? You're going to do the 3-in-1 because that's what you guys do. That's what leaders do. But you're going to invite a friend to only do the other part. You're doing 40,000. Your friend is doing 40,000 in the next 3 or 4 years, 5 years. What rank are you? You're an EC1. How many consultants did you have to have? You and a friend. You and a friend. And you can be an EC1. What do you get when you're an EC1? You get a pool share. And now you're going to get paid on what Dan does and what Rob does and what Marcel does. You're going to get paid on what Skip does, what I do. You guys want to get paid on what they're doing? Yeah. Want to get paid on what Tony's getting from into the business? What did it take to get a share of what everyone in this company is doing? Oh, you and a friend.
Smart.
You're doing 80,000 in volume. How many of you in this room are doing 80,000 volume right now in your business? Raise your hand. Stand up if you're doing over 80,000 in volume in your business. I will guarantee you they have more than one friend. Okay? I guarantee you they have more than one friend. My point is this. These people built their organizations with the 1 or 2, not the 8 or 9. But now we have a solution for the 8 or 9. The reason they couldn't build it with the other 8 or 9 before is because it went from 40% to 2%. And there was no value in a $4 check on a $200 subscription. So people quit. We now have a pathway that those other 8 or 9 can do what the 1 or 2 are doing. They can have the success that the 1 or 2 are doing. And your success should accelerate because of it. When I realized this, I was like, oh boy, we're just missing the bottom rung. We've been running around with a ladder. We've been running around with this ladder out here, okay, with brand new people. We've been running around with this ladder with brand new people. And this ladder sits here like this, and they've got all these rungs on it. We've been saying this is where you start. You have to start clear up here. These people down here are like, but I can't reach the 3rd rung. I need to give you a win so you can stand on this rung so that we can get you to here so that you can reach this rung. Unless you're all of you. All of you made the leap. And that's fine. I'm just saying 80 to 90% of your organization can't make that leap. And it's not because I said so. It's because the industry said so. And we want to sit here and fight that. Am I telling you not to teach 3-in-1? Am I telling you not to find consultants? I'm just telling you to add this to your message. That's all I'm saying. So I started doing it a month ago. What's Skip say when he got up here? Had a 60% increase in consultant enrollments last month.
Wow. 100.
60% increase in consultant enrollments last month. We're the 4th day of this month. And he's 15 consultant enrollments ahead of where he was last month on the same day. You want to know why I think that is? Because I think the brand new person goes, I can have a friend. I'm going to go find my friend. I think they hear me talk about getting customers, they think I'm going to go find my friend first. I think it's like reverse psychology.
It is, absolutely.
I think it's like reverse psychology. I think they realize I need my friend first. And so I'm telling you to go get a customer a week, and they're like, but I got to find my friend. I think that's what's happening. I can't prove it. Sure feels like it. Okay? Do this with me and see what happens. Go talk about these customers and see if your people want to find their friend first. Because we all know you need your friend. You can make 12 grand by yourself, but you can make 16 with a friend, and you can make $17,000 a month when you guys do this for 4 or 5 years, and that's 17,000 times 12, which is $200,000 a year with you and a friend. Now let me ask all you consultants out there that are kind of like freaking out right now that I'm talking about customers so much. Okay? Can you make $200,000 a year without volume? Do you really, I mean, just take a step back and ask yourself this question. Do you really care where your volume comes from? Or is volume? Okay, so I'm standing in front of you. Now let's play a game. I'm standing in front of you. And I am doing this. Okay, I'm standing in front of, am I already over 30 minutes?
Keep going. Keep going, Tyler.
Are we going to get a penalty if I'm going way over?
Nope.
What's the room penalty?
$17,000.
Okay, what if I promise I'm only going to take 10 more minutes? Are we good?
Take as long as you want.
All right, okay. All right. Man, I lost my train of thought. Okay, $200,000 per year. You don't care where the volume's coming from, do you? Volume is volume. We do not care where that volume is coming from. Now, I'm standing in front of the room doing an opportunity meeting, and it sounds something kind of like this, and Dan already did it up here. We have a company that's transparent, it's traded on the NASDAQ, the ticker symbol is LFVN. It allows us to see how much revenue the company does, that the company's completely debt-free, had $20 million in the bank, we did a 40% dividend just the other day. It allows us to make sure that the hiring is where we need the hiring to be to attract only the best people. It allows us to know how much they spent on research and development, $2.3 million last year just on research and development alone, just to keep the activation message relevant for all of us as consultants. We have products that are absolutely unique. You cannot get them anywhere else. They're validated by 30 peer reviews published in medical journals. Places like Harvard, National Institutes of Aging. Places like the American Heart Association, Ohio State, LSU. International universities in Montreal and Amsterdam. This product is something that makes your body work like it did when you were young. It allows you to restore yourself like you did when you were young so that you can fight the effects of age. So that you can slow down the process of age. So that you can actually not have to succumb to the diseases that you watch your parents and grandparents go through. You can only get it here. You'll help us tell the story. We're going to pay you a ton of money to do it. Okay? The compensation plan allows you to go out with you and a friend. And if you understand how to go out and find a customer a week, we can show you how to make $200,000 per year with you and a friend. You got any friends? Okay? And I do this. Now, this is an opportunity meeting, right? Now, we have absolute collaboration here. You guys watched a whole bunch of people walk across this stage, teach on this stage that are not in the same lineage. But they're here sharing success principles with all of you. They're saying, this is working on my team, you should try it on yours. And then they're saying, this is working on my team, you should try it on yours. It's called collaboration. It's called culture. We have an incredible culture here where the top leadership share their success principles. This company is doing $200 million a year. The next phase is going from the startup phase, which is where chaos and the mystery of let's try it and see, okay, to an organized growth phase where you bring outside people in, you bring outside advisors in to look at your product, look at your marketing, look at your compensation plan, and make decisions that will help this company go from 200 million to 800 million. It's where all the big network marketers want to find. It's called the sweet spot. When a company will 4 times itself, and that's where you can create wealth. And I'm going to talk to you about you and a friend. Does that sound like something you want to learn a little bit more about?
Yes.
Woo! You ever seen somebody do a presentation that fast?
Yep.
Can you do it that fast?
Yep.
Did I hit all the highlights?
Yep.
All I've got to look at you and say, is this something that you could see you doing? Can you help us tell this story? Do you think you have a friend that would help us tell the story? What do you want to know more about? If it's products, we show them where that information is at.
That's the best question.
If it is compensation plan, let us show you more about it. Let's go into the details of what you and your friend are going to do to find those customers, but then build a team. Once you build a team, we're going to pay you to build leadership. And once you build leadership, you're going to move to the top of the company and teach the whole company what you now know. Okay? Does this make sense?
Absolutely.
So someone goes, you know what, I think I can do this. And you say, okay, great. Let's go find your friend. Let's get you started on your customers. And now here's the magic. I walk you guys all through. All these guys that are sitting back here, they've been looking at me like, oh no, how much am I going to have to fix after Tyler gets done today? Right? Right? Am I right, some of you guys? You can admit it. Am I right? Okay? Here's the magic. Here's the magic. You get your first customer, and you get your friend. Maybe 30 days in, Of all the consultants, because are you only going to do this with one friend, or are you guys going to do it with 10? Okay, so you're going to do it with 10, but the 8 who you help find a customer or find a friend, what are you going to say to them? This is the magic. You did it once. Can you do it twice? And all of a sudden you blow their minds, you open their minds, you open those 8 or 9 people that were otherwise going to quit. They've now had success, they've had a win, and you say, you've done it once, can you do it twice? Let me show you the impact of doing it twice. Let me help you understand what 3 in 1 is. Let me help you understand that if you'll build a balanced business and you'll set that example for your team, it has a massive impact on your team. Because if you have 10 consultants on a subscription, it's $2,000 in volume. But if they all go out and go diamond without any more consultants, you're doing $40,000 in volume. What would you rather have? A $2,000 business or a balanced $40,000 business? And the conversation's now over, isn't it? What should you all build? You should go build a balanced business. And what do you guys have to do if you're scared of network marketing? You and a friend. Once you find your first friend, go find a second. Go find a third. Go find a fourth. I feel like that's the answer. What do you guys think?
I agree.
This is an example of what I'm talking about with my grandson, okay? Now before you push play, he has this little trike that has 4 wheels on it, okay? And we bought this for him, and he got really good at it. I mean, let's play this video really quick. This is him on his little 4-wheel, balances itself trike, and he just cruises. He's not even 2 years old. That's about 1.5 years old. And so we went out and bought him one that doesn't have 4 wheels. We went out and we're like, you're ready, man, you're ready. I'm like knuckle bumping him, and all that kind of stuff. High-fiving, come on, dude. And so we bought him a bike that was just the next step up. And he kept saying, no, no, no. Like the 8 or 9 out of 10 are telling you, I'm just not ready yet. I'm scared to talk. They just told me this. My friends are wondering why I'm doing this. I feel like I'm throwing up on everybody. I'm not going to have any friends left, okay? No, no, no. He wasn't ready yet until we showed him that he could. Wednesday of this week, this was him on his new bike. The next video. Okay? This is him on his big bike. And we bought this 6 months ago. This is him.
Yeah.
Okay? Now this is Wednesday. This is me being ready, showing him how to just find a friend. We're going to baby step our way in. This was Wednesday. Is that crazy? This is Thursday. Where is it? Okay, this is now Thursday. That's my driveway next to my house. This was the next day. Now let me tell you something, okay? I believe that's the experience you're going to have if you have the patience to help those 8 or 9 who are going to quit or not do anything understand how simple this process can be. It's up to you. My mentor, and I'll leave you guys with this, my mentor taught me some really, really incredible, great things in my life. One of the things she taught me, though, is that throwing mud on the wall in this business is not a good way to build. Okay? No. Being just a massive enroller that cannot nurture and train and elevate and develop leadership will not serve you very well long term. She said, throwing mud on the wall, you are literally at the mercy of luck. You're at the mercy of whether or not someone else will mentor them because you're not teaching and training, you're not holding their hand. She said, you need to develop patience, which is what I'm talking about with my grandson. We had to have the patience. We bought him the bike 6 months ago. He wasn't ready. We had to have the patience. We had to teach him. We had to hold his hand. We had to show him. You've got to have the patience for those 8 or 9 people that you did all the hard work to bring in. Do not throw them away. Okay? She said mentoring and nurturing is the most important principle that you guys will ever learn. She said people are going to be on your team that do not agree with you. You're going to have people on your team that don't do it the way you do it. What you have to be really good at is helping them find the place that will help them grow, even if it's contradictory to you. So I got patient. Marcel and I signed up 36 total people. 12 of them did this business. I would love to know what I know now and go back to those other 24 because I think we have a clear pathway for them. They're long gone now. They're a long time ago. How big would our business be today if we hadn't thrown away 60% of our business? He showed you the numbers. How big would it be? If I'd had a little bit more patience or had a little bit clearer pathway for those people that could not do what all of you can do. the ones that were scared of network marketing, but I didn't have a way for them to win, right? So I'd encourage you guys to have that patience. Understand that the education is 3 rungs. The first one is the opportunity meeting. Make people believe that they can do this. Then when they have a win, take them to the 3-in-1 and teach them all the stuff that we learn here and see what happens to your business. You're all going to be going down that hill with that great big smile. Let's play it one more time, Dad. This is going to be your business. You're going to climb that hill and climb that hill, and then you're going to go, my business is on fire. Thank you, guys.